girls, what turns you away from guys? Insecurity. I once met a guy who seemed perfectly normal. We exchanged numbers. He then sent me a text at 10 PM, while I happened to be napping 10:23 PM. Well fine, I guess I won't talk you anymore. Why didn't you tell me you hated me like everyone else, etc. Never have I been so turned off. It belongs on Cringeetics. I'm a guy. That guy's insane and probably very controlling. Keep away. Being too pushy. If I say no, that means no. That doesn't mean you should be like, AWW come on, and give me a hard time about it. I've had guys do this with anything from casual dates to dex acts. This isn't high school. I'm not going to give in to peer pressure. If you want a girl to jump your bones, try making her feel comfortable and respected instead. Poor hygiene. I swear, my teeth are only stained from drinking loads of tea. I really wish this idea of white teeth equals healthy teeth would go away. People are weakening their enamel by constantly stripping it to get them pearly white. Over familiarity, especially pet names when I don't know you. I agree with you, sweetie. Sorry, I cringed as I typed that. I'm a middle-aged woman, and whenever anyone calls me sweetie I want to punch. When they act like a woman's opinion or expertise on certain subjects means less than a man's. Like a girl couldn't possibly know about baseball, comic books, ECT. Or they must be feigning interest to attract a guy. I had just bought a car. A little Honda Civic. Nothing crazy, not a sports car. I offered a guy a ride, just being nice, because he didn't have a car. We get into my car, and he bursts out laughing, because it's a manual, and I'm a woman. He immediately starts ripping on me before I've even left the parking spot that I can't drive a stick and women don't know how to drive, etc. I drive a stick just fine. It isn't rocket science. My delicate womanly brain can handle it just fine. I made one comment that I had learned to drive on a stick, but admittedly it had been a while since I drove one. But I drive just fine, and he was quiet the whole ride when I didn't stall or rev too hard or jerk the car. I told him to find a ride home and not to ask me to drive him anywhere else. My womanly ways just wouldn't allow it. If I was you I would've told him to exit immediately. Rudeness to waitstaff. Rudeness to cashiers or other retail workers. Someone who is too needy, essentially the opposite of arrogant. Someone who constantly needs validation and constant affirmations totally turns me off. I know this is besides the point you are making, but I don't think being needy is the opposite of arrogant. Someone who is arrogant wants that same validation that the needy person does, but goes about it differently. Rather than asking you, am I doing this okay? And wanting your affirmation, he'll tell you, I'm doing this perfectly, but will still want your affirmation. Rather than asking you, am I doing this okay? And wanting your affirmation, he'll tell you, I'm doing this perfectly, but will still want your affirmation. Interesting observation. Thinking he knows what's best for me. Thinking he knows what all girls really want, whether that be loyalty, excitement, romance, etc. And thinking he's going to fill that hole. Verbally telling me that I can trust him or confide in him when he's done nothing to earn it. Basically treating all women like they are damaged somehow, and he's going to be the white knight that fixes everything by following tropes from romance movies. Gross. I just want to grab dinner and goof around with someone. To build on what you said, when someone tells you what you're like, and when you express an opinion or a preference, argues with you about how you aren't really that way and you should just admit it and be yourself. I really like dark, complicated dramas like Pi or Requiem for a Dream. Come on. You expect me to believe that's your idea of entertainment? Admit it, you're a sucker for romance movies like The Notebook. I just know it. It's okay, I won't make fun of you. I actually like that movie. So what do you want for Christmas? How about a necklace? I'm really not much of a jewelry person, but I'd actually love a new pair of yoga pants. I wear them all the time, and one of my pairs is really worn out and needs to be replaced. Opens present to find flashy necklace. I know you said you're not a jewelry person because you don't want to seem greedy or cliche for asking for jewelry for Christmas, but I know how important these things are for a woman. So do you love it? It's like, who are you dating? Because it obviously isn't me. Being too invasive physically or with questions. putting your hand on the back of my chair and leaning down at me while I'm sitting at the bar, asking me where I live or specifically where I work when we've just met. You're being creepy and making me uncomfortable, and I'm just going to be looking for an escape. I do none of these things and women still aren't attracted to me. This thread is about turn-offs, not turn-ons. Having zero turn-offs doesn't make you attractive. It makes you neutral, invisible. It makes you neutral, invisible. Sounds about right. Summary of my life. Guys who expect you to be their surrogate mom, i.e. cooking all their meals for them, cleaning up after them, doing their laundry, etc. I mean, just because I like cooking doesn't mean I'm going to drop what I'm doing and make you a sandwich because you're hungry. You're an adult. Make your own damn sandwich. Or if a female so just happens to enjoy doing a lot of this stuff for her BF/husband and he starts to expect it and never says thank you. I love cooking, don't mind cleaning, and prefer to do the laundry so it's all folded nicely and in place. But while they say they don't expect it, this isn't the 50s. They start complaining if things aren't tidy/stocked and never say thank you for my keeping our home in tip-top shape. That just makes me feel unappreciated. I don't want a prize for doing housework, but a little appreciation once and a while would be nice. This is kind of weird, but honestly guys who are too stereotypically attractive. It's shallow, but a lot of the time I find these guys intimidating, and I doubt they are actually into me. Honestly, that sounds more like a personal write-off. I've been telling myself this when I meet an attractive woman for most of my life. At least for me, it's a BS cop-out for not having confidence. Us guys have a thing where the attractiveness gets to the point where we wouldn't talk to a girl, but we would engage if she talked to us. I do not have a name for this level of attractiveness, but it's a common occurrence in a lot of guys. I believe the term is out of your league. Interrupting me or ignoring me as though I hadn't spoken. If you don't think I have anything of worth to say, that's okay, but don't expect more than minimum politeness from me in return. Arrogance. What's the difference between arrogance and confidence? It seems confidence is just arrogance coming from somebody you like. Confidence is being comfortable in your own skin and with your surroundings. Confident people are usually more relaxed and treat others with respect. In my experience, arrogant people are usually insecure and try to make up for it by putting other people down and just trying too hard in general. If they seem unable to take care of themselves or their place, looks over at mountain of dishes. Ha, yay, that's a good one, haha. OMG this. I have a very good friend who can't seem to meet and keep a nice girl. He's a great guy for the most part, but in his 40s he lives like a perpetual college student. He has roommates and lives in crappy places. That's fine, but he needs to make his personal living space adult and clean. Don't use a car carrier as a TV stand. Get a dresser vs throwing all of your clothes in the bottom of your closet. At the very least hang them up. Buy new socks and underwear. I told him that no woman wants to have a man who is acting like a child who needs parented. Clean your living space. When I start dating someone and the guy talks about other hot girls all the time, it's like, yeah, if you are interested in all those other girls, then why should I even waste my time on you? Also, I think, but I may be wrong, that people who talk like this from the beginning are more likely to become cheaters later. I'm not sure about the cheating thing, but you'd think if you just started dating someone you'd be on your best behavior. If your best behavior is this, how bad will it be a year from now? I'm a teacher and this happens a lot with students. Most students will be on their best behavior for at least the first few weeks of school. But when a kid is already messing around on the first day of school, it's going to be a long year working with that kid. Exes. Not expecting guys to have zero history or friends, but if she's trying to get back together or sending you gifts, boundaries need to happen, or I'm out faster than you can say issues. I'm not about that catfight life. Guys who bash other people, especially in the first conversation you have with them. Once at the park, this guy started chatting me up, then began going on and on about how he had this nightmare roommate and how he got back at him. Maybe the roommate was a nightmare, but he was the one who came off looking like. Putting other people down does not make you look better.